So I heard the circus is in town. What existential horrors will we deal with today? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 5 of the amazing digital circus. So yeah, we're finally back with another episode. And I want to address that real quick because I have seen a lot of people getting pissed and weirdly pissed about the fact that it's been so long since the last episode. And it's like you guys do remember that they said that new episodes would only come out when they're ready, right? That they weren't going to force a schedule. You do remember that, right? Because this entire getting pissed over having to wait, one, shows that you're just, ridiculously impatient. But also, it shows that you just don't listen to them. It's like they are making this on their schedule, not yours. The entire team who makes this, Gooseworks and everyone else, they have to do this on their schedule. From the animation to the voice acting to everything. It takes time. It takes time to make something like this. And if you want it to be top quality and not just random shit thrown at you, you are going to have to wait. You're going to have to learn patience. Don't get me wrong. I would love more episodes of this quicker. Of course I would. But I also understand that it's going to be more than likely better the longer I wait. Because that means that they're going to be able to put in more quality to really, up the animation, to really work on the voice acting even better, to get the creativity just out there. The more time and effort they put into it, more than likely the better it's going to be. So why would you want it to be rushed out? It's, again, I get it. I understand waiting can be hard. Believe me, there's plenty of stuff I'm waiting for. I'm still waiting for the second season of the live-action One Piece. I'm waiting for the second season of Hazbin Hotel. There's a lot that I want to see continue, and a lot that I want to wait for. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run got announced. I'm waiting for that. But there's a lot of other stuff to watch in the meantime. Amazing Digital Circus isn't the only show out there. It's not even the only, internet show out there. There's a lot to check out. Glitch is still putting out new stuff, aren't they? They're putting out other shows. And not to mention, Dana Terrace from the Owl House has a new show in the works, Knights of Guinevere. It's we're still not getting that just yet. We're still waiting on that too. But it's there's always new stuff coming. There's always more stuff to check out. Plus, I bet all of you have not seen everything out there. In terms of anime, cartoons, movies, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot for you to take part in still. There's a lot of movies and stuff I still haven't seen. A lot of shows and stuff I haven't seen. And I'm still getting to that. I have a lot to do. In fact, I could even say I have too much. There are too many shows that I still want to get to. And so it's I can be patient because I have plenty of more to get to. But you bet your ass when a new episode comes out, of course I'm going to be excited. And I found out about this a day or two ago that this was coming. And of course I didn't watch the trailer because I don't want spoilers, but it's I was excited because of course I'm going to get excited when it comes back, but I'm not going to I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get pissed off and throw fits on social media, especially Twitter, but to be fair, Twitter, when it doesn't come out in the time frame I wanted. Yes, it's been a long time. It's been months and months. Deal with it. Be patient. Watch other stuff. I have gotten into so many other awesome shows since the last episode of Digital Circus. Gentry Chow versus the Underworld. I believe I started that since the last episode, I think. I think I started that before the last episode came out. Or after the last episode came out, I mean. But I've also started checking out a bunch of other stuff recently, like Zenshu and Lazarus and so much more. And I'm going to continue to do so. No matter how long it takes for the next episode, there's going to be plenty of stuff I check out in between. And I can wait. Just like I can wait for the new season of RWBY now that that's been saved by Viz. It's like, yeah, I want an announcement for that. I'm excited for that, but I can wait. I can be patient. Patience. All of that being said, I know I spoke for a bit on that. I am excited for this because this series just continues to get so much better in so many ways. I mean, there's still stuff from the earlier episodes I like a little more than stuff from the later episodes, but it's like a give and take. Some stuff I like better in the newer stuff, some stuff I like better in the older stuff. That's just going to happen. I mean, that's how media works. um, but generally speaking, it's like it keeps getting better overall, especially with the visuals. And it's starting to tell a lot more intense stories, a lot more emotional stories, delving more into these characters for sure. And there's a couple characters that we still haven't delved too much into. The two big ones I feel are Ragatha and Jax. Both of them we have to delve a lot into, and I believe Gooseworks has already stated, like, I think there's 8 episodes total, and most of the remaining episodes will continue to delve into these other characters that we haven't really focused on as much yet. Because we've delved a lot into Kinger. We've delved into, well, a little bit into Zubul, but not completely. Though we delved into Zubul a bit. What is her name? Gangle. We delved into Gangle. But we definitely still have to delve into Jax and Ragatha. Those are the two big ones for sure. Though delving more into Zubul would be cool too. But we also should probably like learn more about Kane, and just obviously like finish whatever we're doing here. But yeah, I think this is supposed to be 8 episodes total, and I think Gooseworks has already stated that it's like it's gonna be a full story. There's more than likely not going to be a season 2. It's like they're trying to tell everything that they wanted to say in this one season. But we'll see. We'll see. Things can change. Anything can like change with that. And if it only ends up being this one season, if it only ends up being 8 episodes, as long as it's really good, that's all that matters. Not every show needs to go on forever. So let's get into this. I know nothing about this episode. I didn't watch any trailers or sneak peeks or anything. I only knew about this coming for like I think a couple days. Maybe since like early this week at longest. But it's like I have not seen any trailers. I have not seen any promotional stuff. I stay away from that stuff because I definitely want to be spoiler free on this series. I feel like it's just much better to be spoiler free on a series like this specifically. But let's get into this and hope for the best and see what episode 5 has in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So first off, I want to mention that there was a lot that happened in this episode. I'm not going to be able to get to everything. I just know it. it's just there's so much that happened between like all the lightning round different adventure ideas to different developments for characters here, and I'm going to miss some stuff. So I apologize ahead of time if there's anything that I don't talk about that you really want to know my thoughts on. Please feel free to ask in the comments. But I'm going to try to focus on the big stuff here because there were some notable developments for multiple characters here, most notably Jax and Ragatha, and there was some smaller developments for other characters, getting to learn more about them, such as what they've done before, and just getting to see like more interesting interactions. The biggest thing here, though, is an implication that Ragatha makes about Jax while they're in the bar. Or no, they're in the field at the moment. So Jax is starting to open up a little bit more, and it kind of goes in a direction that I really expected it to. I had talked in the past about Jax being like aggressive and mean and kind of a dickbag because he's hiding his pain. Because he's dealing with his own trauma in a unhealthy way, but it's his way of dealing with, everything that they're going through. While Ragatha shows this by being super kind and helpful, and Gangle and King are obviously mentally and emotionally affected by this. And Zubul, outside of their relationship with Gangle, tends to be very, tends to keep to themselves a lot. Jax's way of dealing with all this trauma and pain and fear is to be an asshole. And there's a lot of people like this in real life. And so it's like, I understand that there is definitely more to him, and we get that here. Because he's starting to open up, and he's even starting to say, it's like, how can you guys act like everything is fine? How can you be like so happy and just accepting of what's going on? But when Pomni asks if he actually has any real friends, Ragatha says not anymore, and he has a visceral reaction to that. Like he looks very upset with her for saying something there. And in the softball game, when she apologizes for that, he even has a noticeable reaction for that. And I do wonder if the corncob fear has anything to do with that, but it's also like a really interesting thing because it really delves into further development for him that could explain a lot. He had a friend at one point. I don't know if it was Kaufmo or if it was someone else. It was probably someone else. But he had a friend at some point, and that friend probably, died. Or what is it called when they die in this world? I can't think of the word right now. But they turn into whatever Kaufmo turned into. I can't think. There is a specific word for it. I can't think of it. But yeah, it probably that. Just like we know what it happened to Kinger's wife as well, which was also brought up this episode, which I guess the others don't really know about, interestingly. But it's very strongly implied that he had a friend who, I can't think of the word, who I'm just going to say died for sake of ease. He had a friend who died, and he probably started to become an asshole after that as a coping mechanism, dealing with this trauma and pain. But he also probably does not tell people about this. Ragatha knows about this. She might have been there already at that time. So it's probably something very, very personal to him that he just doesn't want other people to know about, especially newer people. We're definitely going to delve more into that in the future episodes. I think that's really going to shed a lot of new light on him and make him a lot more sympathetic of a character, which is what we've been wanting, what we've been hoping for with him. Meanwhile, we learn some of like their pasts and things that they did, because they still have some memories of that. Like Zubul used to be a tattoo artist and a bartender at different points. Um, Gangle went to community college for art design but dropped out and worked at fast food, which we already knew. Um, but we learned that Ragatha apparently does come from money. She did have horses, like she had said when she was, high. She did actually have horses. And she had an abusive mother. And this actually explains exceptionally well why Ragatha is the way she is, which is addressed also in this episode. Ragatha is like super kind and nice and tends not to like try to like cause trouble or be like mean towards anyone. And like obviously it's brought up in the softball portion. It's like sometimes it's good to be mean, sometimes it's good to like let out those negative emotions. But that's something that Ragatha holds in, and I think it's because of her mother. A lot of people who are abused as kids can go a couple different ways. One, they either become their parents and start to like push that cycle of abuse. But then there's others who go in the complete opposite direction due to the trauma they face. They become a little too nice. I'm that second one. And this is something that I've had a lot of struggles with. I have literally been told while like doing some like childcare stuff for like one of my old churches, I was literally told I was too lenient. I was literally told I wasn't allowed to do that anymore because I was too lenient with the kids. I wasn't being like, you know, not strict. That's not the right word. I wasn't. I, I was just being too nice. I was being too nice. I was letting them get away with things. I wasn't like raising my voice and stuff. There was a specific word I was trying to think of, but I couldn't think of it. But it's like, and it's something that I have noticed, and it is definitely a direct result of the way I was raised and am still treated in a lot of cases. Because of like a lot of that, I have tended to become like I've overcompensated by being like super kind, and that I feel like that's also where a lot of my quietness comes from. I'm super quiet and shy and timid in real life, and I feel like it's because I don't want to be intimidating to anyone else. Like another way I can like kind of like put it in perspective is that like a person screaming or yelling freaks me the fuck out. Like I go into almost full shutdown mode if a person is yelling around me. It scares the shit out of me. It's literal trauma. And it's just something I have not been able to work past. Ragatha clearly is going through the same thing. When she like noticed everybody was like looking at her, she felt judged. That's why she changed her story to like, oh, I'm just a simple farm girl. She felt judged and she felt scared, so she changed her story to try and like get less judgment. Because her mother was horrific to her, clearly, enough to really like stay with her. This trauma has stuck with her. And it's really fascinating to me, the amount of depth that we're starting to go into. The animation was obviously amazing this episode. It was like such a huge improvement on everything. Bubble looked amazing. Zubul looked amazing. Obviously, the anime scene looked fantastic. There was just, you can tell why this took so long. And it was worth it in the end. But I just really like seeing these characters start to kind of embrace different sides to them. Seeing a gentler side with Jax and seeing him start to actually open up. Seeing Ragatha get angry, like to the point of like dropping an F-bomb, even if it is censored, it's still like very obvious. Not as obvious as Bubble's F-bomb, but like that was practically barely censored at all. It's like, you heard almost the entire word there. It was so blatant. It's just, it's great to see them like kind of like stepping out of their comfort zones and becoming more emotional. Because like I said in the reaction, it's healthy to express negative emotions. Even Ragatha is like, dropping the F-bomb and like getting super angry. That's important. It may not seem like it in the moment, especially you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or get like or like scare someone or whatnot. But if you hold in your emotions, it's gonna hurt you. And that's something, like I said, I had to learn because I very much have become a bit of a people pleaser like Ragatha because of the way I was raised and treated. And so I had to kind of learn to let out my emotions better, to be more open with my emotions. And that includes negative emotions like anger and sorrow. And I've become better at it. A lot better. I'm a lot less just passive when I see things, for example, in the world that like piss me off. I get very openly angry now. And I mean, I still don't like scream or yell at people or whatnot. I tend to seethe a lot more than I do anything like that. But still, it's just, I'm working on it. And I'm working on myself just in general. More and more each day. And this episode just really felt like it was telling me, but not just me, everyone, obviously, but it still felt like it was telling me that it's okay to just exist, to just let those emotions out. You don't have to pretend to be someone or you're not. You don't have to pretend everything's okay when it's very clearly not. And that's important, I think, for everyone to learn. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to hurt. That's a lesson that is I have taken to heart since Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Izumi Curtis says that line to Ed and Al, and it's like that line sticks with me. It is okay to hurt, no matter how that hurt manifests itself. I mean, don't spread that hurt to someone else, of course, but it's okay to hurt. And sometimes you need to let that out. And I just hope that everybody watching this can take something from that too. It's really interesting, the kind of depths that Goose and the team are like adding to these characters, because it's like these characters almost feel like they're meant to be one-dimensional just because of the way they're designed and everything. They're super like generic and simplistic, but that's the point. They're taking these super like bland character designs that are really not very creative or interesting or unique, and they're making them interesting and creative and unique with their stories. They're adding depth to them that humanizes them and allows them to feel like actual characters, not just, a silly purple rabbit in overalls or a generic cartoon jester or a knight piece with big googly eyes, basically. Or not knight, a king piece, rather. A king piece with big googly eyes attached to it. It's like the designs are so simple, but they say a lot when compared with their stories. And we're starting to get a lot more of that here. And I love that. And I assume we're going to continue to do so as this continues. this is really starting to like get good though, and I just really hope that this series does really stick the landing, because it has all the potential in the world to. And yeah, I guess I should mention like the little gags played on Jax with the voting system, with him like being made vegan and then being put in a maid dress and everything. It's like it's fun. It's definitely meant to like inspire fan artists and obviously sell merch. But there's also the interesting fact that the maid outfit did really upset Jax, like to a weird degree. Like even Ragatha pointed that out, that he seemed angrier than like from anything else. Why? Why did that upset him that much? Was is there something about embarrassment specifically that really bothers him? Or is there something very specifically about the maid dress? I'm very curious. And that, the corn, it's like there's definitely some hints of some future developments with him. And Ragatha, like, seeming very concerned and upset almost that Pomni is connecting with Jax a little bit. Like, I'm very curious to where that's going to lead to. Because, like, especially at the end there when, like, Pomni and Jax were heading off together, you saw Ragatha look back at them, and it's like, what is that about? Ragatha didn't look like she was happy for them connecting. She looked genuinely upset and scared. And I'm very curious to find out more about him and what happened. And just, this is going to delve into some crazy shit, I feel. Yeah, this was really good. And there's a lot that I can't like think about right now, because it's just, there's so much in this episode that it's hard to like fully grasp everything on just a single first watch. I'm obviously going to need to watch this many more times. I'm going to see different reactions with it and just watch on my own time with my sister and stuff. But it's like, yeah, this has a lot that I definitely need to see more to fully comprehend. But I loved the different visuals and creativity and exciting developments, and I'm excited to hear what other people think of this, but I'm also super excited to see where this like develops further and how much more they can glean from these characters. Plus, just to see how much the art and animation continues to improve, because God, that was phenomenal this episode. Definitely proves it was worth the wait, eh? Stop being impatient. It's worth it to wait. This episode very much proves it. But yeah, tell me in the comments below what you thought, and if there is something that I didn't talk about that you want to like specifically hear my thoughts on, please feel free to ask. I will answer any questions. I'll like talk about anything. There's just again, there was just so much in this episode that it's hard for me to remember every little thing. And on top of that, I'm just, I'm only going off of a single watch with a extremely packed episode. So yeah, just feel free to ask. By the time like you see this, I might have already seen the episode multiple more times, knowing me. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.